Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is day 32 of 90 days with XYZ, and today we'll be talking about we're still on range, right? Many people are having issues with range, which I compiled some different aspects of range. We'll be taking this by little. So today we're talking about kind of range. How do I put it? Now, I'm just going to go in straight, right? You know, the kind of range I've always been talking about is this all this kind of range come up, come up, come up, come up, like continuation, come up. This is kind of range that you mostly see everywhere. But if you are trading breakouts, I want you to know that you can find your range anywhere. Do you understand? You can find your range anywhere. What do I mean by that? Now, you can find your range where there is a breakout. Now, I recommend you use the 4 hour and 30 minutes, which I'll be using here. Where's this keyboard use? 4 hour, then 30 minutes. You understand? So if the 4 hour give us a breakout, right? 4 hour give us a breakout, we expect it to come back, right? And continue going up, right? While the 30 minutes, what you want to look for after you found the breakout should be a price, should be when price sweeps a low. Should be when price sweeps the low, any kind of low, and give us a breakout and give you the three types of. Should you just let me just draw everything out. Sweeps a low. Sweeps a low like this, then probably couldn't break this high, comes back and go up. You understand? But first starts will be breaking it up. Weak to body, not just anyhow kind of break. You understand? That should be weak to body. If it's not weak to body, you don't have any business dealing with it. You understand? So immediately you find this your breakout at this point, right? You want to find your range on 30 minutes, right? It's not every time that you just wait for price to like keep going up, finding your range, keep going down, finding your range. You can also find your range at every breakout, right? Daily breakouts, you use 1 hour range, 4 hour breakout, you use 30 minutes range, weekly breakouts, you use 4 hour range. Do you understand? But for today, we'll be sticking with 4 and 30 minutes. Now, let me now go into the real deal and show you. I already marked out few stuffs. Let me start from here. Now, you can see this range, right? You can see this range. You can see what is happening here. Now, I want you to keep it in your mind and let us go to the 4 hour time frame for this two range. You see that there's a breakout there. Something. Where is it? We didn't mark it. Let's go back to 30 minutes so we can mark it. Was it as far as this place? It wasn't. Okay, it was just below this one. Right. Now you will notice that at this point, what can you see? Firstly, this breakout happened, right? But I don't seem like a normal breakout. But if you're going to test me, now you see on the 4 hour breakout, we're only using this. We're only using the key levels to key level. You understand? Key level to key level break. That's what we're doing here. Do you understand? Now you can see after that break, it gave us what's our first. It gave us our first. Where is it? Our first break, our first range. You understand? Second breakout give us our second range, right? Now you can notice that this new range that was created, I wanted to talk about. I said I was going to talk about this new range that was created right here, right? Is a clean range. For you to know how clean it is, price came to this high but couldn't move above it. You understand? But couldn't move above it. For you to know that this was the actual range high. You understand? So next one, sorry. Look at this range to the downside. Price swept this high, right? Price broke this low, right? Now if you now go to the 4-hour time frame, let's mark it out. Let's put it red. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, look at this. What can you see? We had a breakout to the downside before price even shades. Immediately price give us this breakout, your range would have formed. Do you understand? Your range would have formed. Do you understand? Even at this bullish breakout, we had a range. Do you understand? Which price used to buy, and it's best. It was its objective at this point, taking out this high. Do you understand? So you want to be focused on breakout continuation. You understand? You know we had a new breakout right here, right? Move it as orange. Let's go to the 30 minutes time frame. 30 minutes time frame. What can you see? Price didn't really come and sweep anything here, but it can be our range high, right? Break at this point, because this was where we had the break, which price retraced to and continued. Let's go on to another one. You can see this breakout right here, right? You can see this breakout right here. Right, let's go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see it's only when the breakout happens. Only when the breakout happens that price gives us a range. You understand? That price gives us a range. If you look at this breakout right here, look at this breakout at this point, right? Let's go to the 30 minutes. What will you see? Price has given us a breakout. We had our sweep right here and our break right here. Price just kept on going up. You know all this is not a range reversal, right? Until price takes a low at this, which price took at this point before going up. But if you look deep, you will see it came back to the fair value gap. Right, it came back to the fair value gap before going up. You understand? So if you look at this also, look, a bullish range and a bearish range. There are two breakouts right there on the 4-hour time frame. But the bullish breakouts will not be really clean as that. Look at this. Bullish breakout at first, then a bearish breakout. You understand? Even at this breakout, this little breakout that wasn't really sharp like that. If you check the 30 minutes, right, you would have seen something there. You know, we don't just trade breakouts. Breakouts might be wrong, right? Breakout might be wrong. Look at this. Sweep and break, right? Look at this range. Look at all this range right here. We had the range right here. Sweep, right? Break, continue like that. If you look at this range at this point, right? Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Look at this. We had a what? A bearish break. which price came back to, right? Now if you notice what happened right here, we had a bullish breakout, right? And we also have a bearish breakout. Let's check which range price used at that point. 1 hour 30 minutes. Like this breakout to the upside, but this was our range high. Price gave us a break at this point. You can see that even as we're actually bearish, price gave us a bullish breakout, but there was no a bullish range to continue. It means you would have been entering that trade. Do you understand? You would have been in that place. You wouldn't have been there. Do you understand? So continue the, we had more range that was there. We had more range, right? Price gave us a break at this point. This was still the range high, so price came back to the high right here, giving us a sweep and a break. A break at this point. Then if you now still go here on the 4 hour time frame, you will see that price also give us what, a break. Look at this break out to the downside, right? So it's not every time that you see a range that you should just be alone. You understand? Then I will show you something else now. You can see on this 4 hour time frame, right? We had a bullish range. We had a breakout. See where we had the breakout right here. If you go to the 30 minutes time frame, you will see a range there. Clean range. We would have used this high. You can see its body to weak to, you can see how sharp it is. Really price broke the high with body closure. You should have known that price is going to next. Look at this body closure, it retraced. You understand? Where is the range? We had a sweep right here, right? The same here also, we had a sweep right here, which price retraced before going back up. You understand? If you now go to the 4 hour time frame, you will notice that there's always a break at that point. There's always a break at this point. Look at this breakout, like that. You understand? Even here we should also find a break at this point. Breakout. Let's go to the 30 minutes. If we see range 30 minutes, okay, no really range like that. Oh, you can also use this. If you go to the line chart, you see that there's a clean range, sweep at this point, right? Breakout at this point, but I don't recommend you use this. But I'm not sure that there's always a range there. Price came back, continue. You understand? Price came back, continue. So that's the end of day 32. Share to friends. Thank you.